welcome to my knitting vlog. Or is this a designing vlog? Can't really say. My name is Annika and I am living at the moment in Finland. Well, I've been living for the past 30 something years in Finland, mostly. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Probably it doesn't matter much. So, I first of all like to thank all of you for the comments, the suggestions, the likes and the dislikes equally. I mean, I'm glad that I probably managed to provoke some thoughts, some good or maybe some not so pleasant ones. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna talk about today. Like I said in my previous videos, I don't really have a script for these. Maybe I should, since that would be the wise thing to do, but maybe I'm just gonna, sit and knit and chat a bit about what's been going on lately. Yeah, that said, few things first. The white sweater that you saw in the previous video, it doesn't have a pattern yet. I hope to grade it soon and then it goes to a tech editor and then the test knitting will start and hopefully it will be released maybe in the beginning of next year, so you need to wait for a while. Yeah, that's the, downside of social media, or maybe the positive side is that once you show something on social media channels, everybody wants to have it at that same second, but things usually takes time. And I know some of my fellow designer friends actually mentioned this on the Instagram, that it's really funny that people expect that you already have a pattern the minute you start knitting anything. And yes and no. I mean, of course you can grade it and then put it out for test knitting, and yes, before that for the tech editor, but still it does take time. It's not, it is not as slow as you might think or as slow as I am, but it's not as fast either. You still need time to grade it and yes, then actually test, at least in one size, that it actually works. So what I'm knitting right now is the dress that I made the swatch for in the last episode, or started the swatch. This is my second attempt and I'm not convinced that this will work, but you never know. I mean, this will be just a simple raglan dress, and I know what I said about simple things. Sometimes you need simple things for certain activities, so to speak. Somebody commented on my previous episode that, what, you are knitting a dress for ice swimming? Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm not gonna wear this in the water. I'm gonna wear it before and after to keep me warm. But on the other hand, we were just discussing with my friends last weekend that how about putting wool under your wetsuit if you happen to have one? Would that be, I don't know, keeping you warm? Maybe a bit silly. But yeah, I don't have a wetsuit. I haven't been in the lake for the past week, but I should go today. The weather is actually quite lovely. Yesterday the first snow fell of this winter. Yeah, I suppose it's not fall anymore, it's winter in Finland. It's not gonna stay, usually it melts. And then the real winter comes in hopefully a month. Well, that used to be the case, but now it's, getting later and later in the year. Yeah, but this will be a dress for ice swimming. Or yes, before and after. Of course you can wear it wherever you want. I'm thinking that a cozy, bit oversized raglan dress, did I say dress or vest? Hopefully I said dress. Dress might be just the thing that I need for this upcoming winter. I don't know, I've never tried to wear a dress during winter time. I mean, a knitted dress. I tried with other things. Yeah, so you might wonder, why am I doing it like this? Why it doesn't have a ribbing already? I think that since it's gonna be a dress and it's gonna be at least knee length, it might need some structure to it. So this sort of gives it a fake seam. And I also added some, I think they're called basting stitches, to the raglan. And I'm thinking about sewing this part. I'm not sure if it actually focuses. Hopefully it does. Probably once I put it in front of my face. So this is just a row of purl stitches, and I'm planning to use the mattress stitch to sew this together so that it won't show, and maybe give it a bit more, like I said, structure, so that it doesn't, I don't know, stretch out too much, because I'm wondering if it will. I'm also thinking of doing the same for the side seams, because if you're knitting stockinette, then you're actually knitting a spiral, not just a straight tube, and that means that the body of this knit might also start slowly to turn. That's, I think, sort of the Möbius effect, if you ever heard about it. I have no idea how to pronounce it. I hope to avoid that by adding a fake seam to it, or faux seam. Maybe that's the way to pronounce it, the French way. But yeah, I think I mentioned that this is my second attempt. The first attempt looks like this. I unraveled it 2 days ago. I put way too many stitches to the sleeves. It kind of looked funny. Yeah, so right now I am knitting on this, and I do have half a sock to knit up still, so I'm not entirely monogamous. But I wanted to start the dress as well, and so far I like the way the yarn combo feels. This is my first time actually knitting anything more than a swatch from Sannes Garn's Tin Peregrine and Tin Silk Mohair combination. I've used Tin Silk Mohair a lot, but this one I haven't used much. I bought some way back when they launched this. Was it 3 years ago already? Can't remember. And I wasn't really convinced that I like it, but maybe that was a different batch of wool, so that might have something to do with it, because this feels a lot more, I like rustic wools, but the beige one that I have, or the light white, whatever you call it, cream color maybe, it felt a bit more itchy. This doesn't, but we'll see. I think that this is the right yarn combo for the dress, but I won't know until I'm done with it, or at least I have a sweater length of it. Oh yes, I'm also planning to add fake seams to the sleeves for the same reason, so that it will hold up its shape. And actually that's what I did on the sweater that I'm wearing, except that I didn't sew them in the end. Probably you don't see it, but there is a pearl stitch going through here and I think also on the sides. Yes, on both sides. This is just a simple raglan sweater that I whipped up from the top of my head, probably also 3 years ago. It's knitted from Ushitita, was it merino yak? Not quite sure, but it has some yak in it. And then I combined it with Isager silk mohair that I probably mentioned. It's one of my favorite silk mohairs of all time. I'll talk about yarn choices later on. But yeah, what else? Oh, I set up a Ko-fi account. If you don't want to buy my patterns for one reason or other, you can support me on Ko-fi. You just donate some money and that's it. Simple as that. I hope that in the future I get to do this, I mean content creation full time as well, not just knitwear design. But time will tell. And yeah, maybe a bit about knitwear design. I did think a lot about it since I posted the past 2 videos, and I wasn't, well, I do understand that it might have come across that I don't know what to do, I need advice, and I'm just complaining how my knitwear design life sucks. And partially it does, I can admit it. But that wasn't completely my point. My point was more that I think the system is rigged in a certain way, and I'm not sure what to do about it. So, whoops, I almost pulled the microphone. What I realized is that, okay, maybe making these videos is a good start of trying to do something about it, of thinking about what to design and why is another way, at least for myself. Not necessarily following trends is also something that I do, but maybe I should consider occasionally following trends or not. And also, of course, I should probably figure out where do I want to position myself in this knitwear design scene. I mean, yes, I've done marketing for a living, so I know at least some things that I should do, but I guess my point was which I didn't put probably to how to put it, well, bluntly, is that the system is not working for you, and the only way that you get it to work for you is to be part of the system, which I don't want to do. But I also realized way back when that even though you're not playing the game, you're still playing the game. What I mean by that is that there's no way that you can avoid being part of a system. So maybe I should try and make it work for my benefit instead of trying to change it. Yeah, I just I just listened to a song, and then yeah, somehow occasionally I do feel like in that song that I just keep waiting for the world to change, that I can't do anything about anything. But that said, I can do things that are within my choice, so to speak. And yeah, I hope that my example maybe encourages you to think about things. I mean, I'm not saying that this is the best way to go about it, but I would say that it would be wise to occasionally stop and think why you're doing things the way you're doing. That's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to understand why I'm doing things that I'm doing and how, and is there a better way, and if there is a certain place that I want to get or a certain person that I want to become, how can I achieve that? That's what I'm, thinking about actually. So, yeah, thinking about. That said, maybe I should talk about my upcoming plans. My upcoming plans is actually, well, let's discuss today. Today I'm thinking about going for a run for a long time and then go into the lake. We'll see how that will go. I started running last year. I mean, I've started many times and I stopped. And what does that have to do with knitting? Probably not much, but if you're fit, then of course it gives you stamina to knit more. No, you don't have to take up running. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say and failing at it is that yes, I started running last year, because I went to a phase in my life where many things sucked, frankly speaking. It started with cross-country skiing. Oh yes. I tried to learn to ski, and it went fine until I broke my wrist, my left wrist. So that meant no knitting, it meant surgery, it meant a long recovery period, it meant a lot of painkillers, and so on. And once it was healed enough that how to put it, I still couldn't knit much or at all, and I had to of course do tons of exercises, tons of physiotherapy, and avoid knitting. So I had to come up with something else to do. So my legs still worked, thankfully. I didn't injure them in the accident, and I thought that okay, maybe I'll try running. So I did. I just, grabbed an exercise plan from a free page on the internet, and I started running by doing 1 minute at a time. So yes, my 2 cents on how to start running slowly and go at your own pace. Maybe that also is the same for knitwear design. Start slowly and go at your own pace. That helps. So like I said, I couldn't knit, but I could run, and I did have my right hand still working just perfectly fine. So I drew some things on Stitch Fiddle. Stitch Fiddle is a software for designing knitwear charts or knitting charts, or also crochet, I think. I don't know if they have something else there. I don't use it for anything else except knitting charts. So during my sick leave, I drew some colorwork patterns. I'm not sure if this is the first one or second one or whatnot, but the pattern became colorwork socks, and they are called Trailblaze socks. Why? Because I realized at some point last year, around this time when the weather started to get cold, that you don't need much more for winter running or keeping up running during winter, even in Finland, except the stuff that you already have. Maybe a pair of wool socks, a hat, a cowl, and some not very thick mittens actually, and you should be fine. I mean, okay, if it's -20, I tested that, then you need a bit more. But then running is not the most fun activity to do, so I'd reconsider that and do something else instead. Anyhow, so once I had my wrist working again, I knit these up in, this is a hand-dyed yarn from the local yarn shop called Nurja. And I did say that I'm gravitating towards factory-dyed yarns. That is true, but I still like hand-dyed yarns, especially the solid to semi-solid ones. And I do remember going to the yarn shop and saying that I need black sock yarn. And I came away with 2 skeins of sock yarn that are not black. So this is a grey beige and this is a rust color. What else? Oh yeah, I put the gusset decreases at the bottom. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Yes, these only come in one size, and again, someone commented that maybe my patterns would be more popular if my gauge would be looser for socks. That might be true. I'm not really disagreeing or agreeing with it, but I do like my socks to be knit on a tight gauge. I think this is 36 stitches per 10 centimeters. So this is 72 stitches. And scaling colorwork patterns for socks is not as simple as you might think. I mean, if you need a 12 stitch repeat, then the smaller size would be 60 stitches, and that's too small with this gauge for a 37 European 37 leg or foot. 80 stitches you might get away for the larger sizes, but sometimes, yeah, I have to admit, I probably am just lazy to grade anything more than the size that I need, which I know is probably not a good idea. I'll think about that later, how to change that. Anyhow, 2 pairs. I mean, 1 pair. What else? I think sort of a simple way to do a larger sock is to knit it in sport weight and at a different gauge. The smaller one might be trickier, because then you would actually need to calculate everything again for yourself, and then yes, I do understand, why would you need a pattern? For no reason at all. Okay, so funny enough, this is my second most popular design, and they are just socks that come in one size. So yeah, maybe I managed to create something that many people like with this design. I like them, and I think it was a TED talk that someone mentioned that they bought special candles and then they stored them away for 3 years to take them out only on special occasions, and finally when special occasion arrived, the candles have melted. So the thing is, I've been storing these up for special occasions because I like them so much, but I think that I should just put them on today when I go out to run. Oh, about running. I don't like to run on the asphalt. I have very bad knees. What else do I have? Probably nothing much. I mean, I did buy some running gear, so to speak, but I tend to use the same stuff for everything else, like going outside, going on a hike, going wherever, doing whatever sports. But what I did get already, was it last year? No, the previous year, I bought a pair of trail running shoes. I don't really run trails, but I like to run in the woods, but not on those very, very narrow trails. With trail running shoes, they're not as cushioned as the ones meant for the asphalt, but they have a better grip. So even with the upcoming winter, I tend to use those trail running shoes. They're not waterproof. They don't have a Gore-Tex, whatever. Is it a shield? Well, you know what I mean. You can use them all the time, I mean through the entire year, and that's what I did last year. Now I got a new pair from the same brand. And yes, that's basically what you need. You need good shoes. So, why I'm still holding these up is the fact that, okay, if you buy 2 skeins of hand-dyed sock yarn, then you have 840 meters of yarn, but you barely need half of them for a pair of socks. So what to do with the rest? Well, make a hat. Of course, you can see that this also has mohair in it. After I finished those socks, like I said, I had so much yarn left that I wanted to do something with them, but I wasn't completely sure what. So I thought that maybe a matching hat would be fun. I mean, you could see the socks on my feet and then you could see the matching hat. That would be cool. Yes, making a style statement at the same time. So I knew that my friend had used the same rust color silk mohair from the same yarn brand, and I asked her if she would part with some of it, because I really don't need 400 meters of silk mohair either, because I don't want to end up with leftovers that I don't know how to use. And she kindly did part with some of it, so I could knit up this hat. The light beige color mohair is from Biche and Bush, don't know how to pronounce it, and it's their gray beige, which is a lovely color. I mean, I hate beige. I'll get back to that later on in another episode maybe, but I did like this gray beige version. So what I did is actually just a simple tubular cast on in the contrast color, knit a long ribbing, and then start the color work. And I have to say that few things. It's funny, maybe that is changing, but in Finland you're supposed to be very humble about your, I don't know, well, not just knitwear design, but anything that you're doing. And yes, I sort of agree with that, but then it's kind of funny because that's quite the opposite, for example, of what I think the American way of saying that, okay, look Ma, I did this and I'm very proud of it. So basically that's what I'm trying to say, that I'm very, very proud of the crown decreases. I think they turned out just awesome. And I put a tiny pom-pom on top of it, which is removable. What I mean by removable is that it looks like this. There's a bow tie, how you call it, here. And I noticed that I haven't woven in the ends. Well, it doesn't really matter. I can wear the hat without weaving in all the ends. Maybe I should put this on if I can. I don't want to take this down because the microphone doesn't like it when my hair is loose. So, yep, let's see. I don't see myself in the camera at the moment, so I absolutely have no idea how I put this on. Hopefully it's somewhat right. Yeah, so that's called the Trailblaze Trailblaze beanie. And one of my test knitters said that I should also make a matching cowl. And I really would love to do that, but at the moment I don't have the same yarn and I'm not planning to buy it. I also figured that one reason why some people might not be buying my patterns is that I use what seems to be too expensive yarns. That can be. So I'm hoping to knit the beanie and maybe the cowl in the future in a more affordable yarn. I actually think that this would work just fine in Sannes Garn Sunday and Isager silk mohair. I mean, Isager silk mohair is still not the cheapest silk mohair out there, but I like how it feels. But I haven't got the yarn yet. I actually want to knit it in the same main color as my sweater and with a white. I think that would work quite nicely. I'm undecisive if I want to just knit a tube for the cowl, just a straight up tube, a very kind of short one, or if I want to make an infinity cowl. I noticed that if a design is too simple, I am a bit nervous about asking people for money for it. I mean, if it's just a straight cowl, and you could just, frankly, you could just you don't even need to buy the pattern. I think what some people do is just they look at it and then they draw the chart themselves and then they knit it up for themselves, which is, I'm not judging you, I'm just saying that some people do that. But you could get either the beanie pattern or the sock pattern and then just copy the chart and make a cowl for yourself. So I find it kind of cheating to knit up a pattern for that, even if it's graded for multiple sizes, but maybe I'll do that anyway, if that's people want. Oh, this comes in 3 sizes. So there. I think it's very small adult, maybe teenager, adult. I mean, like my head is like 56 centimeters, I think, and then a larger one. I don't remember. You can find all the info on Ravelry. So I'm thinking about wearing this. Probably it's too thick, even for this sweater. I mean, it's somewhere around 0 Celsius. And then the socks for my running. Oh, why I haven't been running? Maybe you want to know? Maybe you don't care? Yeah. So my running hobby culminated? I can't speak. Reached its highest peak, both literally and actually. Last summer when I took part in an ultra trail running event. By ultra, I mean it was somewhere around 66 kilometers in the fjälls of Lapland. So that is what I did. And after that I was quite exhausted. I took some time to recover. My toenails got, well, tons of damage. And then I just didn't seem to get better. And then it turns out that my iron reserves are very low. So now I'm eating iron, and hopefully I feel a bit better soon, or actually I do already. I've taken them for a month now, so they should start working. But anyhow, the weekend, I noticed, well, this is a bit, maybe it goes well with Halloween, that was just this week. If you don't want to hear about my toenails, then you can switch channels right now. But anyhow, I lost a few toenails, finally, because they were really loose already, and I thought that I could get away with, just tending to them, and maybe they'll be just fine, but well, it turns out they're not. So I let them heal for a week, and now I'll try if I can put on my running shoes and actually run, how they feel. And that's the same reason why I haven't been to the lake or to the swimming pool to swim. But yeah, if you're a runner, if you run long distances, your toes will be damaged. I talked on the trail with another lady. She said that, well, been there, done that. I don't have to worry about my toes because toenails, because I don't have any. She's been running marathons for quite a while and trail runs, so there's that. So yeah, having nice wool socks to cover your toes might be handy. Anyhow, I'll stop now and continue for a few rows with this raglan dress, and then go out and try running. I hope you have a lovely day, and see you next time. Bye!